Welcome back. Here we go. It's a post-match pint after Celtic 5, Partick Thistle 0. We're here in the Corinthian. I'm joined by Ryan again. Just a two-man panel for the second game in a row. I hope you can cope with that. Ryan, that was cruise control tonight. About as easy a passage into the semi-finals as we could expect.
It really was, and when you looked at the starting lineup and 8 changes or something like that, 8 changes to the squad, the starting lineup, and you think, I'd said on Sunday that it probably wouldn't be wholesale changes. It was wholesale changes. We saw almost a brand new team running out there onto the park at the first whistle, and it was just one of the games that no matter how many changes we made, we just sailed through it. We coasted through it. I don't think we ever get out of second gear, if I'm honest. But really impressive to see some of the boys coming in. Young Frimpong, really good to see Rogic back on the park. Really good to see. It was brilliant to see what a response Sinclair got when he came on. He got a goal. He's always good for a goal, that guy. Yeah. Really good game to watch. The second half more so than the first half. Really good. We almost kind of fell away from it. We got the first goal and started to relax back into it, thinking it was just going to be easy to steamroll them. They caused us a wee bit of problems, and we were a bit lax in the kind of final 20 minutes of the first half. And then we come back out with a vengeance in the second half and really put on a show.
I think with these games, when you make so many changes, we've talked about rotation last week as well, where it's that balance for Neil Lennon about how many changes do you make, because you don't want to disrupt the rhythm of a team that's playing well, and we are playing so well just now in such good form. You don't want to make wholesale changes and then have a team out there that they don't know each other. There's a bit of lack of cohesion, and a home cup tie during the week where it's not a full house and stuff. You don't want to get into the stages where you don't start the game well and then there's a wee bit of just anxiety begets in the crowd. We never let that happen tonight, and I thought for the word goal, Bayo was a threat. We were getting a lot of crosses into the box as we have been recently, and he's in the air. He's so potent in the air. He's got such a great leap, and we've seen that with the first goal. I think it's a free kick for the left hand side. McGregor, I think it's McGregor that whips in. It's McGregor or Hayes. Is it Hayes? Yeah. Hayes, and he's up, and it's a great header. His first official goal for Celtic, given that the two Hearts goals ended up being given his own goals, but a great start for him.
A phenomenal start, and it's so refreshing to have somebody with an aerial presence. It's been a while to get somebody who's in the middle of the box there and able to put his head in the ball and get it into the... He went very, very close in the first maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Very close. He went over and just hit the roof of the net, and then got his goal, and just briefly after that again just glanced the roof of the net. So it's good to have somebody there that's got a bit of threat, aerial threat, and he's just very, very physical, very capable physically. He's just an athlete, an out and out athlete, and it's really promising to see, because we need someone who's kind of hot on the heels of Edouard. We need someone who's coming through and we can rotate Edouard out and give him a bit of rest when he needs it. And Bayo looked every bit the number 9 that we're looking for.
I thought his all-round performance tonight, I was really impressed with. I know he's my man. He's my man. Bayo's my man this season, but I was really impressed with him. I just thought he linked the play so well. We've talked a lot about Edouard's link-up play recently and how vital a part of our forum that's been this season, and how much he's added to his game this season. But I thought Bayo tonight linked it up brilliantly. I thought in the second half he was very unselfish at times. You think the second goal was brilliant, by the way, straight for kick-off effectively. It started with Frimpong in the right back area. We built up the park to the left hand side, and Ntcham in for Bayo, and then Bayo just, again, I'm shouting for him to shoot it, and he's just knocked it to the side, and Rogic just finished it brilliantly. I just thought his all-round game was brilliant tonight. We know that he's an aerial threat, and we've just talked about it there. His first goal, terrific. But what I wanted to see from him tonight, I was actually talking about this at work today with one of the boys, and I was saying that I want to see him with the ball at his feet and running at defenders, and despite the fact that that's not his game, we just haven't seen enough of him to see what he's like in different scenarios. He had one in the second half where he's got the ball running at a defender, holds on it, waits for Rogic, gives him it, and I think Rogic had a bad first touch, and the keeper parries it, Sinclair smashes it in. I was just so impressed with everything else in his game tonight. We've seen that he's not just a big man that's good in the air. He's got a lot more to his game, and I think that is that is really encouraging to have a backup to Edouard. We know Griffiths is there as well. He's coming back and he's got his injury problems just now. But great to see that he's got more than one string in his bow.
It is 100%, and when we talk about Griffiths is an out-and-out goal scorer. He's one of the guys that he can bang in 30 goals, 40 goals when he's in peak fitness, when he's in the first team and he's getting a run. But Edouard and now Bayo have something different. They've got a physical presence that Griffiths lacks, just size and stature, and it was very good to see him running with the ball at his feet. It was good to see him having that aerial presence, but good to see him as leading the line, as that man who we can look to up the park, and he'll provide goals for us, but he'll also, you hit the nail on the head there, laying balls off, like not greedy, not trying to get the goal all the time himself, and somebody who's willing to kind of share the goals. And it was good to see that again tonight, and I'll just touch on that now. It was good to see that even when we've made wholesale changes, the goals are still coming from different areas of the park, so we're still getting a spread of goals, which is brilliant to see this season, and it continues.
Aye, a spread of goals. Absolutely. It seems like no matter who we put out just now, the team is gelling together, the team is playing really well. Such a great vein of form. The confidence is high. I think you can even see when you look at some of the stuff that the club media is putting out and training and stuff, there seems to be a really good cohesion between the group. They seem to be getting on with each other. There's a real good team spirit there, it looks like, and you can see that when you see guys play tonight that aren't first choice. They haven't been playing a lot of them this season, and they come in, put in a performance like that. Brilliant. The next guy I want to touch on is Sinclair and Ntcham, who we've seen be brilliant off the bench.
Strolled it, by the way.
Absolutely brilliant off the bench. Started at the weekend, played well. I think tonight we know that Partick Thistle are really struggling in the Championship, just under a new manager. They haven't won a league game so far all season, so we know the opposition is weak. But I thought Ntcham had the slippers on tonight.
Different class. Ntcham tonight was different class, especially in the second half. And I say it all the time, right? I'm his worst critic for shooting. He often, every single time that he's hitting for 20 odd yards, he's hitting rose ed or it's hitting the corner flag, and I rip into him for it. But if he hits 20 or 30 of the horrors for two of them the night, that first goal was sublime. It was phenomenal how he struck it, and it was never going anywhere else but in that top corner of the net. It was a beautiful strike, and then he follows it up with that second one in off the post. What a performance when we just strolled it in the middle of the park tonight, and he did really, really well against, again, not a great outfit, but he'd genuinely never get out maybe first or second gear. Like, he just strolled it. It was so good to see.
He's a real class above. We know he's got that in him, and to see when you're at home against a weaker opposition like that, he's got so much quality, and he just oozed class tonight. Another man back in the team tonight, Tom Rogic. Shout out to the man in the comments, by the way, that I donned him Tom Jogic after me saying that he was one paste when he came off the bench last week. Big Jogic. Brilliant to see him back though, in all seriousness. We know he's got bags of quality. Took his goal brilliantly. You can see that he's not in top gear, not to be expected. He's been out for so long, but great to have him back, and again it just adds to that depth that we've got all over the pitch just now. 100%.
Rogic is one of the players that sometimes it can be inconsistent, and especially when he's such a long layoff, it's just good to see him back in the squad. In the second half particularly, he come on to a bit. I think he did really well in the second half, but probably the team did better in the second half, as already touched on. And it's just good to see the way he took the goal just in the literally opening seconds of the second half was Tom Rogic. Well, that's what we've come to expect of Tom Rogic. That's what classic he can deliver. Classic Tom Rogic. And when he comes into a game and when he gets that run in the team, which is good to see him get the run out tonight, hopefully he can get a few more appearances and we can start to get him building into a game, because he's another phenomenal part of that attacking play that we can provide this season. And there's goals coming from everywhere. Rogic back in the team brings more goals to the game, and more the merrier. Absolutely. So important that we have that depth, as I've touched on already, because you think about the guys that we were able to give a night off tonight. Massive players for us so far this season. Edouard, Forrest, Christie, they all weren't needed tonight. Edouard
on the bench. I think Forrest was on the bench as well, but Christie, a night off, vital, because we've got so many big games coming up. We go to Easter Road on Saturday, and then we've got Cluj in the Europa League, so important that we can give those guys a rest, because the games they're so frequent now. Like this period that we're in up until the next international break is massive for us, and brilliant to be able to give those guys a rest tonight, because we need
We did need it. We did need it. Forrest, Edward and Christie have been integral to the way we've played this season and the results that we've been able to deliver this season. The perfect start in the league. We've done really, really well with those three leading the line effectively. They've been the provider of most of the goals that we've had this season. So to be able to give them that rest so that they can then kick on again at the weekend, and then moving into a massive game next week where we start to work in retribution against Cluj. It shows the depth. We've had a really good, as much as it didn't seem like it at times, we've had a really, really good transfer window, because we've found depth in the squad. We've now got...
We got there eventually.
We did. We've found depth in the squad now, so we've got plenty that we can work with and rotate. And we saw El Hamed come into the centre of defence today, so that Frimpong could get his shot on the right back spot. And that again, I feel like we're in such a strong position just now to really kick on and push forward, and that rotation tonight is absolutely done us worlds of good.
Absolutely. Just lastly on Ntcham and talking about having guys like Rogic and stuff back, we've seen already that Neil Lennon is inclined to putting Ntcham in the team and having Christie playing a sort of wider role, Forrest on the left hand side. Do you think, obviously that headache is there for him and it's not going away because Ntcham's playing so well? We don't know where Mikey Johnson's at with his fitness. He's obviously not back yet. He had been playing very well, but do you think, I mean, what's your opinion on that in terms of Ntcham being in the team regularly as a starter again and playing Forrest for the left hand side? Because a lot of people would say that Forrest maybe not his best left hand side, despite the fact that, as we were saying last week, he was brilliant there in the second half in France and on Sunday against Kilmarnock. So where do you stand with that one?
So I'm Ryan Christie's biggest fan, right? And I think that you don't get the best out of Christie when you put him out wide. I think in that 10 spot there, coming in behind Edward, is his strongest. That's his strongest suit. He's going to get most out of the game in that spot, and that's where, if we're playing Ntcham first, so if he's in the first team, if he's in the starting 11, then he has to come in there, because he can't do what Christie can and go on to the left or the right. And Christie's only one there for me that I would say probably I wouldn't want to see that, because I think we can get so much more out of Christie in that spot. But I think Forrest did really well the twice that we've seen him there on the left. I thought he did exceptionally there against Kilmarnock on Sunday. So I wouldn't mind seeing Forrest playing there. I know, like you just said, Johnson's probably not ready to come back in yet. But if we need to see that, then we can go with it. I'm happy to run with it.
Options, it's good options to have. It's good headaches for Neil Lennon, and again it just highlights the strength we've got and the form that we're in, that we're debating whether we should play probably the player of the season so far in his natural position, or move him slightly out of position to bring in somebody else who's in absolutely top form. So these are good problems for Neil Lennon to have. The last thing I want to touch on from the game tonight is Jeremy Frimpong, debut, 18 years of age. What did you make of him?
Brilliant. I thought he was really good.
Promising.
Very promising. So there's a lot of promise there. He looked quick, a lot of pace. He looked really up for trying to put on a show and trying to do something. He was, a couple of times he was caught out defensively, but then there was times where when McGregor missed the ball that bounced over him and missed the header, and he swept it up well, and there was a couple of times where he did mop up when he had to. So I think he did okay defensively, but very good going forward again, and he's got that pace, and he did very well to link up with Morgan.
I thought there was a couple of times where he did get wrong side and then he recovered it again, again with his pace. The thing, he got booked, and I thought, again, it's up the other end for me in the second half, but I thought it was a bit harsh, because it was one of the ones where he got right side of the boy and then the boy got round him again, but when they were running together he had a handful of shut, the Partick Thistle winger had a handful of his shut, and then ends up fouling him, and Frimpong gets booked. By the way, the first booking of the game, Partick Thistle must have had about 75 fouls in the first half, and there wasn't a booking. And then the first foul, Celtic get away in the second half, a yellow card. 2 minutes later, another Celtic foul, yellow card. But hey ho, there you go, Stephen McLean. I was impressed with him, and I think there is the raw materials, if you like, there for a good player. We know that if he's been at Man City, he's obviously good pedigree, and I think quick pace for a fullback is massive. And the only drawback is, I think, we're probably not going to see him very often.
No.
And that's fine. That's at 18 years age, that's fine. We know we've got El Ahmed there, who's probably the first pick in that position. Bauer done well at the weekend. He's out with that ankle injury that he picked up. So we've got depth in that area, which is I mean, unheard of in the past few years.
Right back.
Depth in the right back area. And we've had this discussion about tonight. We've got depth all over the park now, and it's absolutely massive for us. On to the semi-final then, at Hampden, Hibs in the semi-final. The other semi-final is Rangers versus Hearts. Glasgow against Edinburgh. I feel like we've touched on the Edinburgh teams a little bit in the content recently. They played each other at the weekend. Hearts got the better of Hibs, but the two of them aren't in great shape this season. It doesn't look like at all. We've got Hibs on Saturday, obviously. So again, in the semi-final, you would fancy us for that in the form that we're in just now.
We've done really well at Hampden in the last few seasons. Like, our domestic cup has been flawless over the last few seasons. Our domestic cup runs are flawless, and for us to go into that game against Hibs, who you've hit the nail on the head again there, Hearts and Hibs are not the teams that they were perhaps this time last season, and you've got to fancy us going through against Hibs and Hampden. Absolutely. And on Saturday, the only thing I would point out about Saturday's game is we don't have a great record at Easter Road at all in recent years. No, it's been poor. But having said that, again, Hibs not in great form. Neil Lennon knows a lot of the players there, so again, back to full strength. If we bring that level of performance that we've been seeing, the good form that we're in just now, it's 3 points on Saturday. 100%. I think when Neil Lennon knows Hibs, he knows, like, it just, Neil Lennon has a good grasp of what we need to do in Scottish football, and we can really pile it on from where we're at just now. We're in such a good position of strength. We've got the depth. We've already touched on that, and we'll touch on it probably multiple times throughout this season. It is a massive benefit to us, and going to Easter Road at the weekend, bringing players back like Christie, Edward and Forrest, who I definitely think is just going to slot right back in there. You can't see anything else, but that momentum's going to carry us through, and I think we'll get a good result for probably the first time in a while at Easter Road come Saturday. Hopefully, if we win these next two games, away at Hibs and at home at Cluj, we'll be semi-final of the League Cup, in command of the Europa League group, and 7 out of 7 in the league, which would be absolutely superb. That's it for the post-match pint tonight. Like the video, comment with your own thoughts on tonight's game below and the semi-final draw. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you on Friday for the build-up to the Hibs game. Thank you.